Hey, Code One Digest family, and a huge welcome to anyone just joining us. Today, we're embarking on an incredibly exciting and essential journey, AWS Cloud Computing for Beginners. Have you ever heard terms like the cloud, EC2, S3, or serverless and felt a little overwhelmed? Or maybe you're curious about how companies like Netflix, Airbnb, and even Amazon itself run their massive applications without owning huge data centers. Well, you're in the absolute right place. In this video, we're going to break down the fundamentals of Amazon Web Services, the world's leading cloud platform, in a way that's easy to understand even if you've never touched cloud before. We'll cover what exactly is cloud computing. Why is AWS so popular and powerful? The core services every beginner should know, like EC2 for virtual servers, S3 for storage, and RDS for databases. And most importantly, how you can get started today with the AWS free tier without spending a single penny. My goal for you by the end of this video is not just to understand what AWS is, but to feel confident enough to launch your very first cloud resource. This is your gateway to building scalable applications, hosting websites, managing data, and opening up a world of career opportunities in tech. So if you're ready to unlock the power of the cloud and take your tech skills to the next level, hit that like button, subscribe to Code One Digest if you haven't already, and let's dive straight into AWS Cloud Computing for Beginners. Here's the agenda for the tutorial today. Introduction. What is cloud computing? What is Amazon Web Services, AWS? AWS Global Infrastructure. Core AWS Services for Beginners. AWS Pricing and Free Tier. How to get started, your first 3 steps. Best practices for beginners. Common use cases of AWS. Advantages of AWS Cloud Computing. Summary and conclusion. We are going to cover all these topics in this video, so stay tuned till end of this video. Before diving into AWS, it's essential to understand the core concept of cloud computing. Imagine instead of buying and maintaining your own powerful computers, hard drives, and networking equipment in your home or office, which is expensive and a lot of work, you could rent these resources from a massive global company over the internet. That's cloud computing. It is the on-demand delivery of IT resources like servers, storage, databases, and software over the internet with pay-as-you-go pricing. Instead of owning your own data center, which is called on-premises, you access these resources from a cloud provider like Amazon Web Services, or AWS. You get the power you need when you need it, and you only pay for what you use, just like your electricity bill. Amazon Web Services, or AWS, is the world's most comprehensive and broadly adopted cloud platform. It started in 2006 and offers over 200 fully featured services from data centers globally. Think of AWS as a giant, virtual collection of all the computing resources you could ever need. Millions of customers, from individual developers and small startups to large corporations and government agencies, use AWS to build, deploy, and manage their applications. Key benefits of using AWS. For a beginner, the advantages are significant. Cost-effective. There's no upfront cost to buy hardware. You use a pay-as-you-go model, paying only for the specific services you consume for as long as you use them. Scalability and elasticity. Need more power for a busy day? You can scale up your resources in minutes. When traffic dies down, you can scale back down automatically. You never have to guess your capacity needs in advance. Flexibility. AWS provides all the building blocks, servers, storage, databases, etc. you need. You can choose the programming language, operating system, and tools you already know and love. Security. AWS builds its infrastructure to meet the security requirements of the most demanding organizations. You also get tools to manage your own security, like controlling who can access your resources. Reliability and global reach. AWS has data centers all over the world, called regions. This means you can deploy your applications close to your users for low latency, or faster speeds, and have high reliability. If one location has an issue, your application can keep running from another. AWS has hundreds of services, which can be overwhelming. As a beginner, you only need to focus on a few foundational building blocks. 1. Compute. Amazon EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud. This is the most fundamental service. An EC2 instance is simply a virtual server in the cloud. It's like renting a computer that you can access over the internet. What it's for. You can launch a virtual server with your choice of operating system, like Linux or Windows, install software, and run applications. Beginner use case. Launching a small T2 micro instance, which is free tier eligible, to host a WordPress blog or run a small development project. 2. Storage. Amazon S3, Simple Storage Service. It is a massively scalable object storage service. Think of it as a virtual, infinitely large USB drive in the cloud. What it's for. Storing and retrieving any amount of data. This is perfect for images, videos, application backups, and data for analytics. Beginner use case. Storing your website's images and files. A very popular use case is hosting a static website, a website built with just HTML, CSS, and JavaScript directly from an S3 bucket for a very low cost. 3. Database. Amazon RDS, Relational Database Service. RDS makes it easy to set up, operate, and scale a relational database in the cloud. It supports popular database engines like MySQL, PostgreSQL, and SQL Server. What it's for. It manages all the hard work of running a database, such as patching software, backups, and scaling. This frees you up to focus on your application. Beginner use case. Creating a MySQL database to store user information and content for your WordPress blog or web application. 4. Networking. Amazon VPC, Virtual Private Cloud. A VPC allows you to create your own private, isolated network inside the AWS cloud. What it's for. It gives you complete control over your virtual network. You can define your own IP address ranges, create public-facing subnets for your web servers, and keep your back-end databases in private subnets that can't be reached from the internet. Beginner use case. Creating a basic network to securely connect your EC2 instance, web server, to your RDS instance, database, ensuring the database is not exposed to the public internet. 5. Security and identity. AWS IAM, Identity and Access Management. IAM is the service you use to manage access to your AWS resources securely. This is one of the most important services to learn first. What it's for. Instead of sharing your main root account, which has full power, you create IAM users, for example, for yourself or a teammate, and groups, for example, developers or admins. Then you grant them specific limited permissions. For example, developers can access EC2 but cannot delete the database. Best practice. Always enable multi-factor authentication on your root account and create an IAM user for your day-to-day work. AWS infrastructure is divided into multiple components. Regions, geographical areas containing multiple data centers, for example, US East 1, AP South 1, availability zones, or AZs, independent data centers within a region for high availability, edge locations, points for delivering content via Amazon CloudFront, CDN, to reduce latency. Best practices for beginners. 1. Use IAM roles and policies. Restrict access with least privilege. 2. Enable multi-factor authentication, or MFA. 3. Set budget alerts. Prevent unexpected charges. 4. Regularly monitor resources. Use CloudWatch and AWS Config. 5. Backup data. Use S3 versioning and Glacier for backups. Common use cases of AWS. Web hosting and APIs. Host websites and back-end APIs using EC2 or Elastic Beanstalk. Data storage and backup. Secure cloud storage with S3 and Glacier. Machine learning. Train and deploy ML models with SageMaker. Serverless applications. Use Lambda for event-driven workloads. DevOps and CI/CD. Automate deployments using code pipeline, code build, and code deploy. Create your AWS account. Go to the AWS website and sign up. You will need a credit card for identity verification and any charges beyond the free tier, and a phone number. Secure your root account with IAM. This is your most important first step. Log in to your new account. This is the root user. Go to the IAM service. Enable multi-factor authentication, or MFA, on your root account. This adds a critical layer of security. Create a new IAM user for yourself. Grant this user administrator permissions for now. Log out of your root account and log back in as your new IAM user. Use this IAM user for all your work. Launch your first service, a simple project. Project idea: host a simple one-page static website. Service to use: Amazon S3. Steps: go to the S3 service, create a bucket, a container for your files, with a unique name. Upload your index.html and style.css files into the bucket. In the bucket's properties, enable static website hosting. Set the bucket's permissions to allow public read access so people can view your site. AWS will give you a public URL. You now have a website live on the internet. AWS offers a pay-as-you-go model where users pay only for resources consumed. Pricing models: 1. On-demand, pay per hour, second for compute resources. 2. Reserved instances, commit for 1 to 3 years for lower rates. 3. Spot instances, bid for unused capacity at discounted prices. AWS Free Tier, ideal for beginners. EC2, 750 hours per month of T2.micro instance. S3, 5 gigabytes of standard storage. RDS, 750 hours per month of db.t2.micro instance. Lambda, 1 million free requests per month. Advantages of AWS Cloud Computing. Scalability. Instantly adjust resources for demand. Cost efficiency. Pay only for what you use. Reliability. High uptime and disaster recovery. Global reach. Deploy applications worldwide. Innovation. Constantly evolving with new features and AI integration. Conclusion. AWS Cloud Computing empowers individuals and organizations to innovate faster, reduce infrastructure costs, and build scalable solutions with minimal effort. For beginners, AWS provides a comprehensive environment to experiment, learn, and deploy real-world cloud-based applications. Starting with foundational services such as EC2, S3, and IAM builds the perfect base for mastering the cloud.
Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the Code One Digest channel for more insightful content on programming and technology. Don't forget to click the bell icon to stay updated with the latest video releases, and kindly share this video with your friends and colleagues who might benefit from it. This information is especially valuable for students, beginners, and software engineers. I truly appreciate your support. Your likes, shares, and subscriptions motivate me to keep creating quality content. Thank you once again for being part of the Code One Digest family.